Hello! Today we continue our series of 360-degree videos in St. Petersburg. And today we are in Cottage, one of the summer palaces, summer residences of Russian Tsars. It was built in the beginning of 19th century for Nicholas I and his wife Alexandria Fedorovna. By that time, the Tsars have already been tired of all these grand palaces, luxurious interiors, all this gold and parties, and they wanted some cozy place on their own. And this cottage became a very private residence just for the family of the Tsar. Nicholas I ruled in the beginning of 19th century. It was the period of 30 years from 1825 to 1855. These were 30 years of strong police and not very many liberal reforms in the country, but at the same time being a very strong monarch, Nicholas I was also a very good father and very good husband. His wife, Alexandria Fedorovna, was daughter of Prussian King William III and his beautiful wife Louisa. Alexandria Fedorovna was only 16 when they got acquainted with Nicholas I. Those time he wasn't even heir to the throne, he was just younger brother of the Russian emperor, and when they got acquainted they immediately fell in love. They got married in a year, and Alexandria Fedorovna got this name, Russian name. Together they had 7 children in their marriage, and this house was built for their family, for their 7 children. Nicholas I loved his wife and his family a lot, and also he liked a lot Gothic style and medieval culture. So this palace was built by Scottish architect Menelaus in neo-Gothic style. It looks more like an English mansion than some luxurious palace, and it was going to be the summer residence for the family with no throne halls, no big dining rooms, but just some bedrooms, studies, just some very beautiful, cozy, private place for the family. And this palace, when it was constructed, was surrounded by the garden. This garden is designed in English style, so it's landscape park where the roads lead you to some beautiful places, and nobody was allowed to come here except for the very private guests of the family. The servants of the palace didn't live together with the family. Over there are small buildings of the kitchen and of the building for the servants. So the family here was just on their own. There were 7 children, and boys and girls were studying in different rooms, so there were different classrooms in the palace. And near here, about 10 minutes walk from the palace, there was also a farm for the family. That's where children could study not only arts and sciences, but also some labor. That was important. Russia was an agricultural country, and people had to learn, royalties had to learn how the people live, how to look after cows, how to clean the horses, how to milk cows, and for these reasons a farm was constructed near here. Cottage Palace was not only residence of Nicholas I, it also became residence for Alexander III. And later in this park, Alexandria, called after the wife of Nicholas I, Alexandra, there was also a place for Nicholas II and his family. The youngest heir to the throne, Prince Alexis, youngest son of Nicholas II, was born here in Peterhof, in this park Alexandria, but not in the Cottage Palace, near here in Lower Dacha, which was another palace. And that's why here we can see a monument to Prince Alexis. You know, the story of the last royal family is really sad. They were all arrested after the revolution, and they were all killed in 1918 in Yekaterinburg. But as the childhood, as life of Prince Alexis started here, that's why here we can see the monument to this boy. And one of the most beautiful features, one of the most beautiful parts of the Cottage Palace was, of course, the view on the Gulf of Finland. Some of the summer residences of Russian Tsars situated here in the southwest of St. Petersburg, and all of them are built on the top of the hill, which used to be the coast of the ancient sea, that later divided into the Baltic Sea, Ladoga Lake, and all the rivers we have in this region. So when you stand on the top of the hill, down there you see the valley, and in distance you also see the Gulf of Finland. So here they had wonderful breeze from the sea, they had a view on the city over there, and one of the biggest rooms of the palaces had big windows on this side, so that Tsar could enjoy this view from his study, and the family could spend time during the day in the drawing room with the view on the Gulf of Finland. This is one of the most peaceful places in Peterhof, in the suburbs of St. Petersburg, and nowadays it is very well maintained. We can see some reconstruction there, and I guess someday the third palace of Alexandria will also be restored. Yes, there are three palaces here. One is the Cottage Palace, and there was also Palace of Alexander II and Palace of Nicholas II. Two of them, Cottage and Farming Palace, survived the war. This one was turned into a hospital, and that's why the interiors were in quite good condition after the war. The restoration started quite soon, and in the end of 1970s was over. So since 1979 this museum has been opened and is always ready to welcome new guests. And one of the main features of charm of this museum is this medieval style that we can see here. So this is neo-Gothic construction. We can see very many sharp angles, we can see all these arches, and also we can see the symbol of Alexandria here. Look at these railings of the balconies and these blue shields with white sword which goes through the wreath made of white roses. That is the symbol which was specially created for Alexandria. White Rose was the nickname of Alexandra Feodorovna, wife of Nicholas I, and sword was his symbol. So here we see the union of husband and wife of Nicholas I and Alexandra Feodorovna, and this medieval symbol is repeated in all parts of decoration of this palace. And also please have a look at this beautiful sculpture here showing Madonna. Here it's mostly not religious meaning, but just the symbol of tenderness between mother and the child, of these family relationships, and this was this warm, real home. So I hope that you've enjoyed Cottage, and I'll see you soon again. Bye bye!